Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is Josh, and today we are checking out The Matrix by OSP Balisong. Alright, so OSP is a company based in Michigan. I happen to do some of their technical stuff, like their websites, sometimes social media. So technically, I work with OSP, so take that as you will. I like to do these more as an overview than a review anyways, but for anyone who is either waiting on a Matrix or is potentially thinking about buying a Matrix, I just wanted to go over some of my thoughts. So, if you go back in the channel, I've actually done a few other Matrixes before, so if you want to look at smooth handle, the regular texture, and then this here is the latest Thicc texture. I don't know exactly what the appropriate naming for it is, but I call it the Thicc texture. So just to go over some of the basics here, I don't have a autofocus camera, so you'll have to forgive me. So the thing that makes this ultra special is the thicker, deeper grooves in the handle slabs, and the handles are titanium. I do know that. Let's see if I can get nice and close. There we go. So yeah, it actually has thicker grooves than the other textured handles, so it really provides a decent grip. I don't know if you can hear that, but you can actually hear it. Well, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. So the texture is pretty thick, but it's not sharp. It's not to the point where it's uncomfortable. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a gun grip. Kind of has that feel, I guess. I personally really like this texture. It's probably my favorite yet. So titanium handles, S35VN for the blade, and the blade is nice and sharp. I know they have a grinder, but I'm pretty sure they do these ones by using a wicked edge, and that is not only time consuming, but it yields really good results. So a nice clean, I'll see if I can't do a close-up of it a little bit later, but nice clean edge on it. But clearly it's a Tonto, right? Nice and rounded, crowned edge, so it's nice and comfortable when you're doing chaplains, rollovers, what have you. Still has the bite handle indicator on this particular one. I know that they have a knife in the works where it's actually Zen pin construction, where this is tang, and the Matrix has some super whopping tangs. If I compare it with, this is the channeled Alpha Beast that I did a video on not that long ago, you can see the size difference. Might as well do a little side by side. The Matrix is significantly longer if you take into consideration the taper at the bottom. But when they're open, they measure out damn near pretty similar length. I'll tell you this, I don't have my scale. Well, shit, let me grab my scale. It is 4.7 ounces. Comparable to the Alpha Beast. The Alpha Beast is 5.1, so significantly lighter. And whenever I looked at the Matrix, sorry I'm completely out of focus here, but whenever I looked at the Matrix, I always assumed that it was going to be a heavier knife, just because when you look at that blade, it's like, it's a whopper, but really, when you get it in your hand, it's going to be a lot lighter than what you're expecting. I can promise you that. The handles are nice and round, which I am a huge fan of. I know I've mentioned this in the past. This is a really crappy cheap caliper, but if you measure on both sides, I'm getting a reading of 10.9 millimeters right at the tip, and if I go down, it reads at 14.3. So it tapers in this direction, but if we put it sideways and we do that again, I'm getting 12.6 and 15.7. Again, cheap caliper, not accurate, but that does show you that it tapers in both directions. So with the taper and the rounded handles, you can actually do some pretty unique tricks. Super easy to navigate on this knife with the not only with the taper but the cutouts. You can always tell where your hands are located on the knife, which is always a plus. Bite handle indicator, I know I mentioned that, but there's a hole in the blade on the safe handle side, so when you close it you can actually see through that top half. Pretty neat. So when you're looking down you can go, oh, that's the safe handle. When you're doing fast flipping, I don't know if that can actually, if you can actually see it while it's in motion. I personally, being a flipper of, I don't know, 6 months, a year, I don't know, over a year, I can't remember. The time flies when you're having fun. You just automatically know what side's the safe handle and what side's the bite handle just through experience. Doing various tricks, you can tell, okay, I'm gonna land on the bite handle. I don't know. You guys see what I'm saying. They got T15 Torx screws. It's about how she sits when she's closed. Beautiful knife. We'll do a little bit of amateur flipping here. Some nice beginner flips. If I can even get myself in focus, probably not. Of course, gotta do the behind the 8 ball like 1,000 times. Has the sound to it is actually a lot duller than what I was expecting. Not in a bad way. Almost like 2 slabs of bamboo hitting each other, but muted. Bamboo covered in a blanket. I don't know. These knives you definitely want to keep oiled. I have noticed that if you start running low on oil, the performance of the knife does go down a little bit, in my opinion. It doesn't swing nearly as freely, so keeping it, up to maintenance is pretty important. I got some OSP oil here, which this stuff is in stock. If you go in the store, ospbalisong.com, you can actually buy some of that oil, but I've noticed keeping it well lubed is definitely a plus. It's got a different balance to it, so if you're used to flipping the Alpha Beast, it's going to take a minute to actually get used to this knife, but that applies for all sorts of knives. It's kind of blade heavy, is what I'm trying to say. I still don't got that move down. It's that part right there that gets me every time. Yeah, that's where I get stuck. Aerials is fantastic, man. It practically flips itself. Here, I'll do a special one for it. Cigar catch. I don't know what that's actually called, but I was playing around with that the other day. Good old, what's that called? The Jacob's ladder or something. See if I can't do one a little bit more clean. That's not bad. Don't ask what. I don't know what that was. Variation of the choker fan, I guess. This move has been fun. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty legit. One way, I know I mentioned this before, but one way that I get used to my knives and the balance is actually flipping it just like that. I've been using this thing pretty intense and I have dropped it on concrete. Tip is still intact. These are really durable knives. The Matrix, no matter which one you get. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I feel like tossing around like that helps you get the balance a little bit. Obviously, you just want to flip it any way you can. Get that balance going. It does fans really well. Again, just because the handles are so easy to navigate. Thumb chaplains you can do fairly well. 0 G's. I mean, the chaplain's really good. You just got to be careful so it don't fall off your finger. But after you get used to it a little bit, you can kind of predict what's gonna happen. Ow. Nope. It's only 11 o'clock. Woke up a couple hours ago, so I'm still a little tired, but let's see what we got here. The aerials on it are just really easy for the most part. Especially if you know what you're doing, which I don't. That'd be cool if I landed that. I've never really landed a clean one before. Oh, practice. I always cut myself in these videos because I'm trying something new. I'm taking that one. I'm taking a victory as that one. Alright, so really, I mean, that's my amateur level video for the OSP Matrix. If you guys have any questions for me regarding the Matrix or any other knife they have questions about or you'd like me to check out, just let me know and I'll do what I can to get my hands on it. Other than that, pretty nice knife. To stay up to date, I would recommend following OSP Balisong on Instagram, or also visit ospbalisong.com. Other than that, I really appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you next time. Adios.